There's someone who has literally, and I do not use that word loosely, literally rearranged their entire daily routine around the possibility of seeing you, their schedule, their habits, the route they take, the time they show up to places, the gym they go to, the coffee shop they choose. All of it has been quietly, methodically, almost surgically restructured around one single variable you, where you'll be, when you'll be there, how to position themselves in your orbit without it looking intentional. And the terrifying part, they did it so gradually that they didn't even realize it was happening until they were already in too deep. One day they woke up and looked at their calendar and their entire life had been reorganized around a person who doesn't even know they did it. That's what's coming through today. Okay, so I literally had to stop what I was doing to record this because the energy coming through right now is unreal. I'm Stella Love Tarot with Stella. Subscribe if you're new because we stay busy around here. Real quick, only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know how we do. Now let me get into this because, oh my gosh, this one is wild. So let me start with you because I need to explain what it is about your energy that could make a whole human being rearrange their life without consciously deciding to. You have something that I can only describe as gravitational consistency. What I mean by that is you show up the same way every time. Not boring same, not predictable same, grounded same, reliable same. You have a rhythm to you, a steadiness. People know what they're going to get when they're around you, and what they're going to get is someone who is present, who is real, who isn't performing a different version of themselves depending on the day or the audience. And in a world where most people are chaotic, where you never know which version of someone is going to show up, your consistency is like a drug. It's like finding the one radio station that always plays exactly what you need to hear. You don't even have to think about tuning in. Your hand just goes there automatically. That's what you are to this person. The frequency they keep returning to without deciding to. And here's something about you that you probably don't fully appreciate. You make spaces feel different when you're in them. It's not something you do on purpose. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. But when you walk into a room, the temperature changes. Not for everyone, most people won't notice, but for the people who are tuned into you, the ones who are already on your frequency, it's like the whole room suddenly has a center point that it didn't have before. You become the anchor, the reference point, the thing that everything else unconsciously arranges itself around. And you have no idea you're doing this. You genuinely think you're just showing up, just grabbing your coffee, just going about your day. Meanwhile, there is a person whose entire nervous system recalibrates the moment they detect your presence, and they have built their entire weekly schedule around maximizing the number of times that recalibration happens. Let me tell you what this person has done, because the specifics are coming through and they're almost hard to believe this person changed the time they do something. Could be the time they go to work, the time they leave, the time they go to the gym or the store or a class or a regular spot. They notice probably subconsciously at first that you tend to be at a certain place at a certain time, and they adjusted, not dramatically, not in a way anyone would notice. They shifted by 15 minutes, maybe 30, just enough to overlap with you, just enough to create a window where they might see you. And when it worked, when they showed up at the adjusted time and you were there, it validated the entire restructuring. Their brain logged it as a success. The reward pathway lit up. Dopamine confirmed what their conscious mind hadn't admitted yet. This person is organizing their life around you, and the payoff is simply being in the same room as you, breathing the same air as you, existing in the same 30-foot radius as you. That's the payoff. That's the whole reward. Just proximity. And then they did it again. A different time slot, a different routine adjustment. Maybe they started taking a different route somewhere. Maybe they started frequenting a place they never used to go because they learned you go there. Maybe they joined something, signed up for something, started showing interest in something they previously had zero interest in because that something puts them in your world. And each adjustment was small enough on its own to be deniable. Each one had a plausible explanation that had nothing to do with you. Oh, I just realized the earlier class fits my schedule better. Oh, I heard this place has better coffee. Oh, I've been meaning to try this for a while. Oh, this route actually avoids traffic. Every single reason was technically true and completely dishonest at the same time. And if you lined them all up and looked at the pattern, if you drew a map of every adjustment and every change and every new habit, it would trace the exact outline of your daily life. Every pin on that map would land on a place you frequent. Every time adjustment would align with your patterns. The plausible deniability only works in isolation. Seen together, it's a blueprint. A love letter written in Google Calendar edits, and they would actually die, if anyone ever connected the dots. Because the real reason, the actual motivating force behind every single change was you. It was always you. They just couldn't say that. Not to other people, not even to themselves. If the initials W, G, or L mean something to you right now, pay attention. Those letters keep pulsing through and they're connected to this person or to the specific place where these rearranged encounters keep happening. If that hits, drop it in the comments. Now, here's where it gets really intense because the schedule changes were just the beginning. What happened next is that this person started living in a state of permanent anticipation. Every day that they knew there was a chance of seeing you became a different kind of day. They woke up differently, they got ready differently. They chose their clothes with you in mind, not dressed up, not obvious, but considered, intentional in a way they wouldn't be on a day when seeing you wasn't a possibility. They checked the mirror one extra time. They put on that one thing that smells good. Not cologne necessarily, could be a lotion, a body wash, a specific detergent they noticed made them feel more put together. The preparation is meticulous but invisible. Nothing that could be called out. Nothing that screams, I did this for someone. Just a series of micro decisions that all point in the same direction toward you, toward being ready for you, toward being the version of themselves that deserves to exist in your space. And if you ask them directly, are you getting ready for someone? They would deny it so fast and so convincingly that you'd believe them. But their morning routine on days when seeing you is possible runs 11 minutes longer than on days when it's not. They've never timed it, but I'm telling you right now, it's 11 minutes. That's the tax your existence charges on their morning. And they would never in a million years admit that any of this was for you. If someone asked why they looked nice, they'd shrug and say nothing specific. But we know, and they know. And somewhere deep in the honest part of themselves, they know that Tuesday morning is not just Tuesday morning anymore. It's the morning. They might see you morning. And that distinction has restructured their entire emotional week. And the days they don't see you, the days the overlap doesn't work, when they show up at the adjusted time and you're not there, those days feel different too. Flat, gray. Like someone turned the contrast down on reality. They go through the motions, but something is missing. And the something that's missing is a person who has no idea they're missing. You went about your day completely normally. You changed nothing. You felt nothing different. And meanwhile, this person experienced a minor grief, a small, private, completely irrational sense of loss because they didn't get their fix of you. They didn't get to see you tuck your hair back or laugh at your phone or say something to someone that they gotta overhear. They missed their dose. And the withdrawal is real. It is physically real in their body. A heaviness, a restlessness, a low-grade irritation that has no logical source but that they've learned to trace back to one variable, your absence. And on those days, they overcompensate. They check your social media more. They look at old photos. They replay the last interaction in their head with forensic detail, trying to extract more from it than it contained the way you said their name. Whether you looked at them a beat longer than usual, whether that smile was for them specifically or for the room in general, they mine every memory of you for or they might have missed the first time. Because on the days they can't see you in person, your digital ghost and their own memory are the only substitutes available, and neither one is enough. I keep getting the number two here, partnership, duality, two becoming one. This is not casual attraction. The number two is telling me this person's soul recognizes yours. Their system has identified you as significant, not just attractive, not just interesting, significant in a way that reorganizes priorities without permission. The body knows before the mind admits it. And this person's body decided you were important long before their brain caught up. And the jealousy, we need to talk about this because it's coming through sharp. This person has seen you interact with someone else in one of these overlapping moments and it nearly broke them, not outwardly. They maintained composure, they smiled, they acted normal, but internally, there was a detonation, a silent, invisible, total collapse of the calm front they'd built. Because they've done all this work, restructured their entire routine, rearranged their habits, turned their daily life into an elaborate system designed to put them near you, and someone else just walked up and got your attention for free. No effort, no planning, no 15-minute schedule adjustment. Just walked up to you and you smiled at them and laughed at something they said, and this person watching from across the room felt every single one of those schedule changes burn like a receipt for something they never got to purchase. They paid in time and attention and daily discipline, and someone else got the product. And they can't even be angry because you don't know. You don't know about any of it. The whole system is invisible. The whole architecture of their devotion exists only in their head and in the margins of their calendar. Now, here's where I'm getting the number 7, spiritual protection, divine shielding. You are being guided right now. The fact that this person keeps showing up in your space is not fully their doing. Yes, they've made adjustments. Yes, they've engineered overlap. But the reason those adjustments keep working, the reason they keep finding you when they look, is because something bigger than both of you is orchestrating proximity. You're being brought together repeatedly for a reason. The universe doesn't waste coincidences, and at this point, you two have had too many coincidences for any of them to be coincidental. Something wants you in each other's space. Something is engineering the encounters from a level neither of you can see. And let me tell you what this person feels when they're actually near you. Because the anticipation is one thing, but the experience is something else entirely. When they're near you, within speaking distance, within the range where they could potentially interact with you, their entire body shifts into a different gear. Their senses sharpen. They hear better. They're more aware of where they are in space. They become hyper-conscious of every move they make because every move is potentially visible to you. They straighten up without deciding to. Their voice modulates, drops half a register, smooths out, becomes more deliberate. They become the best version of themselves. Not a fake version, the best version. The one that usually only shows up when the stakes are high enough to call it forward. And you just by being present, just by existing nearby, you are apparently high enough stakes to summon it every single time. And physically, because this is coming through and I can't not say it, this person's attraction to you has moved past thought and into something somatic. It lives in their body now. Their palms react when you walk past. Their stomach drops when you make eye contact, even briefly. There's a warmth that starts in their chest and spreads outward when they hear your voice. They have memorized sounds you make that you don't know. You make the specific pitch of your laugh, the way you clear your throat, the particular rhythm of your footsteps that tells them you're approaching before they even look up. They could identify you in the dark by sound alone. They know the difference between your real laugh and your polite laugh, and they feel a small private victory every time they hear the real one because it means something genuinely got to you. And that realness is what they're addicted to, not the performance, not the surface, the realness. And that level of sensory cataloging is not something a person decides to do, it's something that happens to them. It's the body's way of saying, this person matters to me in a way I cannot override. Pay attention to them, always. For my Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, and Pisces viewers, this is resonating especially deep right now. And I keep picking up Scorpio or Aquarius energy on this person, someone who lives in their head, someone who processes everything internally, someone who would rather restructure their entire life than have one vulnerable conversation. Sound familiar? I keep getting that this person has Scorpio rising or Aquarius moon energy, specifically someone whose emotional world is so deep and so private that they would genuinely rather rearrange their physical reality than sit in a feeling they can't control. The irony is that the rearranging is the feeling. Every schedule change is an admission. Every route adjustment is a confession. They just don't recognize it yet because it doesn't look like vulnerability. It looks like logistics, but it's the most vulnerable thing they've ever done. Now, drop everything if this is hitting. If you know exactly who this is about, comment they rearranged everything below. Like this video, subscribe if you're not already, and tell me what just came to mind because I read every single comment and this reading is loaded. I keep getting the number 33 now, master teacher, and 33 is telling me that this dynamic is teaching this person something they desperately need to learn. They have spent their life being strategic, calculated, in control of every variable. And you are the variable they cannot control. You show up when you show up. You go where you go. You smile at whoever you smile at. You live your life on your own terms, completely independent of their carefully constructed system. And that lack of control is simultaneously their worst nightmare and the most alive they've ever felt. Because control is safe, but it's also dead. It's also predictable. It's also boring. And you are the opposite of boring. You are the chaos in their order. The disruption in their system, the one thing their planning can't account for. And they wouldn't trade that disruption for anything, even though it's costing them their sleep and their schedule and their entire sense of self. And here's what's coming through about what happens next. This system, they've built this invisible architecture of engineered overlap. It's reaching a breaking point. It cannot sustain itself because the closer they get to you through proximity, the more they want actual access. They don't want to just see you across a room anymore. They don't want to just overhear your conversations. They don't want to just exist in your general vicinity and call that enough. It was enough 6 weeks ago. It's not enough now. The proximity has made everything worse in the most beautiful way possible because now they know details. They know your patterns. They know your preferences. They know which days you seem tired and which days you're lit up and which days something's clearly on your mind. They've accumulated so much observational knowledge about you that they've essentially studied for an exam they haven't been invited to take. And the pressure of all that unspoken knowledge is building toward a release. I keep getting the initials H and P connected to this next phase and the number one, new beginnings, fresh starts, the courage to initiate. Someone is about to break pattern. And given everything I'm seeing, it's going to be them. Not a grand gesture, not a confession, something much more subtle and much more devastating. They're going to engineer a conversation. Not just proximity, actual verbal contact. They're going to find a reason to talk to you directly, ask you something, comment on something. Create a moment where it's just the two of you exchanging words for the first time or for the first time in a way that feels different. And you're going to notice that this person seems to know things about you they shouldn't know. Small things, things you never told them, things they could only know from watching. And that's going to be the tell. That's going to be the moment you realize, oh, this person has been paying attention, more attention than I knew. More attention than makes sense for someone who's supposedly just another person in my day. And in that moment, the whole invisible system they built becomes partially visible and everything shifts. The number 8 is coming through now: abundance, harvest, receiving what's been quietly planted. And I want to connect this to something beyond this person. There is a financial or professional shift happening for you right now. Something you've been consistently showing up for, the same way this person consistently shows up for you, is about to produce results that match the effort. The consistency you carry in your energy, that gravitational steadiness that made this person restructure their life, that same quality is about to pay off in your career or your bank account in a way that feels like it happened overnight, but you'll know it didn't. You'll know every single day that went into it. And that knowledge is going to make the reward so much sweeter. And I want to leave you with this because it's the most important thing I'm going to say. You did not do anything to earn this person's devotion. You didn't manipulate. You didn't play games. You didn't strategize. You just showed up consistently, authentically, as yourself. And that was enough. That was more than enough. That was so overwhelmingly enough that someone restructured their entire existence around the chance of being near it. Think about that. Really think about it. In a world full of people trying to be noticed, trying to be chosen, trying to engineer attraction, you just existed. And someone built their whole week around you, not around what you could do for them, not around what you look like, around your energy, around how it feels to be in the same space as you, around the way reality gets a little bit more real when you're present. You are not background noise in anyone's life. You are the main event. You just didn't know it because no one had the courage to tell you, well, this person is about to tell you, not with words, not yet, but with presence, with consistency, with a devotion so structural, it's literally embedded in their calendar. And when you finally see it, when you finally realize that someone has been quietly, devotedly, almost religiously arranging their life around yours, it's going to change how you see yourself forever. Okay, I need you to go receive this now. Stop telling yourself nobody notices you. Stop moving through the world like you're invisible. You are the opposite of invisible. You are the person someone rebuilt their entire routine to see. Let that sink in. If this hit like this video right now, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Subscribe because I am always in here dropping something, and comment below because I read every single one and I want to know who rearranged everything. Okay, go. I love you. Bye.